Wow, what a pull on these cards. There's a lot of major arcana. Of all the cards I've pulled, there's 4 major arcana cards. Okay, major arcana, there's only 22 of them in the whole deck. So they tend to indicate situations where it's a big kind of make it or break it life moment. And the main energy of your reading, Aquarius, is the moon card. Wow, look at that. Beautiful mystical card. This is actually really unlike the Aquarian energy, because the Aquarian energy, you're so good at having these very future thinking, humanitarian flashes of wisdom, flashes of insight that really help us, you know, but that maybe ahead of your time. But this is a very, very different energy. This is asking you to sink into the unconscious and the mystical and the things that you maybe can't control or rationalize. So that might be quite a scary energy for you. The moon card, traditionally, I think it's 2 dogs on this deck. Traditionally, there's a dog and a wolf. So it's this tug between your animal nature and your, rational nature, right? Which is what I've just been talking about. You can think of different myths, like there's a myth in Plato, I think it's in the Phaedo, where there's a guy on, he's having to balance 2 horses. There's a white horse and a black horse, okay? So yeah, it's this, the conscious and the unconscious, the animal and the tamed. There's something that you're having to balance here. Look at that image as well, like the sun and the moon, bringing together the masculine and feminine. So this is a month to expect the unexpected, I'd say. I also feel this is to do with finances as well, because the moon is a Pisces card, and Pisces symbolically is your 2nd house. So this is coming in the area of how you value yourself ultimately, but then really having to go out there and say to the world, like, I'm worth this much, okay? Not just waiting for someone to say, oh, you know what, I think you're worth that much. Having to go out there and say it yourself. So I feel like you're having to really go into this subconscious programming, seeing where you haven't been able to value yourself. Wheel of Fortune is crossing it. So yeah, I definitely feel this is some big shifts. It could be like a move abroad or some big project that's going to expand your horizons. And it is a bit scary, but the energy is definitely saying, Aquarius, that now is the time. Maybe the Jupiter retrograde has something to do with it, but that's over now. So yeah, it's time to think big. It's time to think big, and it's time to go back and delete some programs. But I want you to be very, try and bring that intuition in. Don't be too willful with this, okay? It's very much a process of surrender and just finding that middle path, okay? The middle way, when we talk about the middle way, and Buddhists talk about the middle way, it doesn't necessarily have to be this compromise where you feel like you're losing out somehow. It could be that you listen to both sides in a way that you really negotiate and find this kind of win-win situation, which is better than your wildest dreams, okay? So see if you've got these 2 warring parts inside of yourself, see if you can actually write down, like have a written dialogue with each one and see what each one wants, and really let it have its time, okay? And let it tell you what it wants, and see if you can be the mediator between the 2. Because I feel like, yeah, look at that Justice card. So this is very much an energy of, look at the scales, having to balance 2 extremes. Justice is very much extremes. It could be legal stuff as well. I mean, let's say it's a business and you're setting up legal disclaimers or something like that. That's important. But I feel for most of you, it's this symbolic thing about balancing out extremes within yourself. And you'll know what I mean. We have the number 8 as well. I've just noticed that. So Justice is the 8 and the moon is 18. So yeah, there's something about, can you see that? So 8 is very much about hard work and seeing the long path. In the Chinese tradition, it's very much about abundance, isn't it? So we've got 8-8 or 188. Maybe these are numbers you're seeing. But there's definitely something about planning for the longer term, planning for security and stability, which is coming through here. And I feel like you're having to take a leap of faith into the unknown to set up something new, to be really bold and courageous. And there is a bit of doubt. This came up in another reading, actually. There's a bit of doubt going on. Look, we've got Magician. Magician knows he can do it all. He's got the tools of the universe at his disposal. But he's in the upright. He's in the reverse. I'm wondering if there's some program inside you, Aquarius, where you've seen, like spiritual gurus or people who've become cult leaders or something like that. That's what the Magician reverse can be. It's like some wisecrack who thinks he knows everything, but he's actually a bit shifty. And there may be some programming that's saying, oh no, what if I'm like that? But you're not. You're just there's something that wants to come out, right? There's something that wants to come out from the waters. Look at the crayfish. Into the manifest reality. But it's very much about following this middle path and listening to divine guidance. You know, this is a Pisces card, as I said, and I have a feeling that, so there's a massive bloom of Pisces energy this month. And as I said, that's in your second house, which is all about values and material goods. So there's definitely a focus on having to trust in the divine, that the divine has your back when it comes to material things. And yeah, let me talk about the retrogrades as well, because I've got Venus going retrograde on the 2nd of March until the 13th of April. I'm mentioning these now because they're both going to be in the sign of Pisces, okay? So I seem to be being asked to mention them for you. Venus retrograde is not that common. It's about every 18 months, and we are asked collectively to go within and, just as I said, look at what our values are, but also by extension, what kind of people are we attracting in, or have we attracted in the past that are an extension of those, okay? And your reality as you're living it now is basically, you can look at all the people that you're hanging out with, the place that you are, you know, the amount of money you're making. It's all an external reflection of what's going on in here, right, in the subconscious. So it's a really good idea to have a look around and see whether that tallies with your values or not. Sometimes in Venus retrograde, there's kind of a tradition that old flames come back, like old loves come back, or at least you're thinking about them, or you just randomly get a message from them as well. Yeah, that could happen because we've got Mercury retrograde as well, from the 15th of March to the 7th of April. So they're both going retrograde, and they're both going to be in the sign of Pisces as well. And I felt called to mention those because they seem really relevant to you. Maybe you've got untied loose ends with someone or something that's going to then impact your ability to be abundant or something like that. It feels like there's this deep trust that's having to happen in your life where you're going to go on this brand new journey. But during the month of March, you're going to have to really reevaluate your values and really learn how to claim what you're worth. One of the things I want you to do, Aquarius, is to go back over the past few years, maybe 7 years, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Really look back over the past few years, and I want you to delve into this with a huge amount of gratitude, because what this card is suggesting is that there's a lot there that you're actually not looking at. You've done so much work, and I know how hardworking you are, Aquarius, and you value friendship so much. You will do anything for other people, sometimes to the omission of yourself. And I want you to look back over the past few years and really look at everything you have achieved, because it's so much, and I think you might be not taking that into account, and that's why there might be this slightly shaky energy and ability to trust. And that's going to be part of this internal calibration, okay, with the justice energy. Justice is great because it's like, you know, just desserts, or just, you know, justice is served, that kind of thing. So I think if you do that, you'll think, oh wow, I actually have done so much, and I'm in such a good position to value myself. And I think you just need to make that conscious, right? And then life's going to mirror that back to you. In the future, we've got the 5 of Swords. This is not the easiest energy, I'll be honest, but I like it because it's a cutting away from the past. It's a cutting away from things that held you back, you know, like family conditioning or whatever. Or it could be some resentment, right, with this Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. It could be some resentment to do with a past lover or a past person or something like that. Oh, if only they hadn't done that, you know, blah, 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 I would have been able to do this. Okay, so this is the month where you clear all that, okay? Don't necessarily make giant leaps into the unknown with this project that I'm seeing, although I do have a feeling it's going to be successful. So do trust your intuition. It's very much a month to trust your intuition. And also trust your intuition as regards finances. I've said that loads of times, but it's just coming through really strongly. But this 5 of Swords, I want to see what that's about first. 9 of Wands. Yeah, it's like there's something really heavy. It's like, oh, I think it feels like you've tasted freedom, and you're so desperate for it. You're so thirsty for it, and it's like something that's going to happen. It's like the straw to break the camel's back. So it's a heavy energy. It's like a build-up energy, but it's really good in the long term. Look at this moon. So many things around trusting your intuition. Okay, so we had the moon card to start with, and the sun and the moon in their mystical marriage up there, the masculine and the feminine uniting. Look at this 9 of Wands. Look where you're leading up to, the moon. Okay, so This is something I had with Pisces actually, which is that you haven't been trusting your intuition enough, okay? So you guys seem to have a similar theme this month of just really trusting your intuition, even as regards business and all these things that, you know, maybe are scary to you. One last card for Aquarius. Oh, wonderful. Emperor. Love that. Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be some sadness. But it's so much bigger, this new horizon that's opening up, Aquarius. Honestly, just trust me on that. It really is. It's massive. Wheel of Fortune, you know. The tides are turning. It's a new phase. It's a new chapter. And look at that Emperor. How beautiful is that? In this deck, we've got a tree. Okay. And what that says is, he came up in the Pisces as well, fun enough. You guys are on a similar vibe this month, Aquarius. So look how deep the roots are, okay? You're taking a long path. And it's weird because the path is going up, but then it's ending up with the moon, which is a very inner, you know, mystical energy. And you've just got really strong foundations. So yeah, so you might have to trust me on this one, Aquarius. But you are going in the right direction. It's not easy to cut free from the past, but you need to use this Pisces energy this month to build up your trust in the divine. Just have complete faith, like radical faith. Reevaluate your values, reevaluate, just clear any crap that's still there with old relationships. And also your mindset, your thinking, just really examine anywhere where you're not allowing yourself the most abundant life that you can have, okay? Have a great one, Aquarius. I'll see you next month.